Hi guys, we are on it again. With what's going on in the world, I'm not quite sure where to even start because I feel like, I'm sorry to say that, but I feel like Trump, I think he's autistic to some extent because I don't think a normal person would actually say the things that he said and even act the way he act during when the world is standing at the brink of World War III. Like, seriously. So, when he obviously bombed Iran's so called nuclear facilities, he came out bragging saying that, oh no. So, obviously, Iran bombed, but they actually did it with warning, cautious, so that there's no casualties. And they bombed, I think, a US military facility in Qatar, and then Trump, came boasting that, oh no, those people are soft, and I'm like, what? What is that supposed to even mean? Like, they were just diplomatic. Now you're calling them soft? And then he also broke about, no, they are coming to like a ceasefire with Israel and so on. But, listen to this, and then you know that this guy, either he's autistic or I don't know, like, I don't think a normal person would be able to boast with the things that he boasts about during war, to be quite honest.
All hell was breaking loose last night and into the morning in Iran, in Israel, in Iraq. The Middle East was on fire and is on fire. What you saw right there was a ballistic missile strike making a direct hit into Israel. The ballistic missiles were sent by Iran after Donald Trump was bragging about a ceasefire between Iran and Israel. And then Donald Trump kept on posting photos of himself and images that says Trump was right about everything while war was raging in the Middle East. It was quite pathetic and quite dangerous. So you had Iran striking Israel. 3 people died in the Beersheba area in Israel after a residential complex was struck. You had Israel striking Tehran throughout the night and into the morning. You also had military bases in Iraq coming under fire, believed to be attacked by Iranian militia, although no one was taking credit for what had transpired there. And again, while all of this was taking place, Trump was posting, Trump was right about everything. He was posting memes that say majority of Americans believe the United States is on the right track, which is absolutely false. Yesterday, Donald Trump got his worst approval numbers from the Reuters Ipsos poll, showing his approval dipping to just 41% and his disapproval almost hitting about 60%. Let me walk you through what's been going on here. And I think it's also important to note the following, though, in advance of what I'm about to show you. United States officials are conceding that they don't know the fate of Iran's uranium stockpile. Both the Vice President J.D. Vance and Rafael Grossi, the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency, acknowledged questions about the whereabouts of Iran's stockpile of near bomb-grade nuclear material. And it's also believed that Donald Trump's constant social media posts and his braggadocious everything about, oh, we don't want a ceasefire, we're going to go and attack them, we're going to take down the Ayatollah, that all of that allowed Iran to have the necessary time to remove a lot of the materials. I mean, this is from the article. There was also evidence, according to 2 Israeli officials with knowledge of the intelligence, that Iran had moved equipment and uranium from the site in recent days, the Fordow facility. And there was growing evidence that the Iranians, attuned to Mr. Trump's repeated threats to take military action, had removed 400 kilograms, or roughly 880 pounds of uranium enriched to 60% purity That is just below the 90% that is usually used in nuclear weapons. So as the call to activism account says, so let me get this straight. Trump is celebrating a ceasefire while Iran walked away with 880 pounds of enriched uranium, and we still don't even know the full damage at one of their nuclear sites. This isn't a victory. It's an effing national security malpractice. And then Trump was bragging about a ceasefire that seemed to be non-existent. Israel had to shut down all of its airspace. It had a plane circling that couldn't land. Tehran was lit up on fire. Let me show you right here. This is the 7-story apartment building in Beersheba, southern Israel, that suffered extensive damage. 3 people died. 3 civilians died. Others injured. The fatalities may increase, but just take a look at this. Let's play it. Here are the first moments after the direct impact of the Iranian ballistic missiles on an apartment building in Beersheba in southern Israel. Let's play this clip.
Whoa.
Then there were many Israeli airstrikes on Tehran as well. You can take a look at what it looked like in Tehran. And then I'm going to show you what Donald Trump was posting. Here, play this clip. Donald Trump was posting paintings of himself with his fist raised up. Why would you post that under any circumstance at all? Yet alone when this is going on. I mean, I can't even imagine a situation ever where I would post photos of myself, images of myself with my fist raised. It's just very strange. And while the Middle East was on fire, that's what you're doing. And then while Iran was bombing Israel, as Israel was bombing Iran, as someone was bombing Iraq, Trump was posting this image of himself kissing the American flag. He's kissing the flag, and it says Trump was right about everything. Then he kept on bragging about the ceasefire deal.
And now you can listen to Anna. Anna is from the Young Turks. I've been following him for quite a while, but I think I've lost contact in that sense. But I think Anna is one of those women that I admire, I admire Candace, because she's such a straight shooter. She doesn't have any... So listen to what she's saying.
He claims, and he just announced that there is a complete ceasefire between the United States and Iran.
What now? Well, this is just sad on every level. This is the Telegraph. Look, I don't know if this is true or not. Explosions have been heard over Doha, Qatar, after Iran launched a missile attack on the U.S. base there. Western officials told Axios that Iran had fired 6 missiles toward at least one U.S. base in that Gulf country. That base exists to protect Israel, by the way. I know Barry Weiss is constantly attacking Qatar. Qatar has done more to defend Israel. But anyway.
Well, as you just heard from Tucker Carlson there, Iran has begun its retaliation against the United States following President Donald Trump's decision to fight Israel's war by bombing Iran's nuclear sites over the weekend. However, the way in which Iran carried out this retaliation is important because it appears that they're attempting to de-escalate, and hopefully things do de-escalate. Now, how does that make any sense at all? Well, let me give you the details on what they targeted, which U.S. bases they targeted, and how they did it. So, war has entered a new stage, writes Ken Klippenstein over at Substack, with Iran and the United States now shooting at each other directly. Iran has announced that it has fired missiles at the Central Command headquarters at the Al Adid air base in Qatar. But this could be a way of giving, parties to this war a potential exit plan or exit strategy. Iran coordinated, let me repeat, Iran coordinated the attacks on the American airbase in Qatar with Qatari officials and gave advance notice that attacks were coming to minimize casualties, according to 3 Iranian officials familiar with the plan. Now, that ended up being true because of the air bases that were targeted by Iran. Not a single casualty was reported. This was coordinated to prevent casualties from occurring, but this was a way of the Iranian regime to essentially save face with the people of Iran and at least show that they responded or retaliated in some way following the US attack on their soil over the weekend. Now, Trump has responded to this already, writing on Truth Social that Iran has officially responded to our obliteration of their nuclear facilities with a very weak response, which we expected and have very effectively countered. There have been 14 missiles, blah, 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 blah. But the important part is that he says at the end, perhaps Iran can now proceed to peace and harmony in the region, and I will enthusiastically encourage Israel to do the same. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, will he be able to encourage Israel to do the same? I doubt it. He'll be reminded about who his funders are. He'll be reminded about his mommy, okay, and the Adelsons giving him hundreds of millions of dollars to essentially allow Israel to do what it wants, carte blanche when it comes to annexing the West Bank. We're just gonna have to wait and see. And the other thing is, guys, obviously the way that the strikes against Iran were carried out over the weekend leaves much to be desired when it comes to trusting Trump. How are you gonna trust Trump? Right? I mean, he just flat out lied and made it appear as though he was pursuing a diplomatic negotiation to get a new nuclear deal signed. In the meantime, he had already decided that he was going to do these strikes. He had no intention of getting them to sign a new deal.